What's up, guys, and welcome back to the doctor's office. I am Dr. Kaori Knight, here to give you proper diagnosis and prognosis and everything comics and comic book characters. I found another story. So this story is called Hyde Street, and it is very creepy. So Hyde Street is a mystical street. So at the very beginning, we have this old woman who just came out of a store, and she's trying to cross the street, but there is like a crap ton of construction literally in her way. And a little boy who is a Boy Scout is like, hey, I can totally help you across the street if that's cool. I'm trying to earn a badge. And she's like, oh yeah, no, you can totally help me. So they're walking across the street and he's asking her questions. And she's like, I used to have a daughter. She died when she was 5. And then my husband's been dead 13 years to today. So, I'm currently by myself. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. I just have one question. And he turns around, demonic face and all. He's like, what are you hiding? And she's like, huh? And he's like, what are you hiding in the bag? And it's a bag full of cyanide. And it's basically revealed through this kid that she killed her daughter. Her daughter went quickly with the cyanide. And then day by day for like a year or so, she killed her husband by putting a little bit of cyanide in his food every single day for a year or so until he died. But because the little boy is a little boy, he is there for her killing the girl. So the cyanide busts open. She has her foot basically melted and stuck into the ground, while there is like one of those rolly bulldozer things coming over, and she gets run over. And he's like, you mess with a kid, especially your own, I mess with you, period. And he ends up getting a badge, which is because he just delivered someone to the Scorekeeper. Now he ends up running into Mr. X-Ray, and he's just like, what do you want? He's like, I want to fucking leave here, but you're making it very difficult. They very clearly do not like each other. So the story with Mr. X-Ray, he used to be, he starts describing Hyde Street, and if you become stuck on Hyde Street, you are stuck. So he used to be in this like advertising commercial business, and he was selling x-ray glasses, the ones that he has on his face, but they did not work. And he was selling them to children because his thing was children are stupid. And like they were of course wanting their parents to pay money for these x-ray glasses. And he's talking to his partner Jim, and Jim's like, I don't think that this is such a good idea. He's like, you remember all of those long nights and the all-nighters that we've had, all the work that we put into this and everything else. He's like, you always think that, is this the day that I'm going to jump out that window? And it never is. He was like, but we're literally all about to be very rich. And just then, a guy delivers a package, and inside the package is his $1 million idea outside of the x-ray glasses, which is finger monkeys, the miniature the pygmy marmosets. And I'm guessing he wanted to like sell them, but once he takes the finger monkey out, it goes crazy and is trying to leave because it's obviously fucking terrified. And they grab it, it bites his hand, and it falls out the window to its death. Now, on Hyde Street, while he's walking, the monkey is in the bushes, very pissed off at him. He's like, I said I was sorry. And it's just like, that's not enough. And it's just like, sorry does not make up for the fact that you fucking killed me or got me killed. You could have just left my ass alone. So, we understand. And later on, we find out through his, monologuing that Jim would jump out of the window and commit suicide the next day. And he kind of feels bad about it. Meanwhile, a little girl comes to his door, and he's like, of course, we don't want any. She hands him a letter, and basically saying that is her father, and that she currently lives with her uncle, who is very mean to her, aka abusive. And so he basically like calls her, he's like, so you're Judy? He's like, no, that's not right, like go away, literally. And she starts crying, but he realizes his mistake almost immediately and tries to go after her. She gets out on the street. He is on Hyde Street now. Like, he didn't even go outside. So he passes by the little boy whose name is Pranky, and he's trying to sell him some lemonade. And he's just like, have you seen a girl around here? And he's like, what's it to you? You seen her or not? And so, of course, he doesn't answer. But at this point in time, he is stuck on Hyde Street. And this is where his adventure on Hyde Street is. And he actually starts getting talked to by the scorekeeper, who doesn't have a story and doesn't really have a form, I'm guessing, either. And he basically shanghais him into performing deliveries to keep score. So he's supposed to deliver souls, basically. And while he's talking to himself and thinking, he does get pelted in the head by Pranky, who tells him, I am going to do the opposite, whatever the fuck you said earlier. I'm going to go after every single person that steps on High Street and keep your ass the fuck here forever, demon face and everything. And he's just like, no. If I'm going to get off Hyde Street, I guess I have to participate. And essentially, we do get a look at the scoreboard. Now, there is a guy who's coming. He's like running for help. And he's like, I don't want to fix my face anymore. He has bandages and things all over his face. And Mr. X-Ray is thinking to himself that I could do exactly what Pranky is doing. And I could take this person, but I don't want to get on the doctor's bad side. The doctor is Dr. Ego. Now, when we do get a glance at the scoreboard, he has already been participating in delivering souls for the scorekeeper, because he has like 2,000 souls that he's delivered. I think it's 2,103. Pranky, though, has like 18,000. Mrs. Goodbody, which there is a video on my TikTok called It Happened on Hyde Street Devour. And that one is about Mrs. Goodbody, and she basically is taking these monsters and using them as diets, and she gives it to a person for them to lose weight. She's like, all it takes is one. It's a monster that attacks them and is like eating away at their insides, and so they can eat as much as they want to and never get fat. They all look actually really gross, but they all end up dying. So she's delivered like 9,997. So the scoreboard is there. There is one on there called Colonizer, whose number is unknown. That's a good one. I like that. I am very interested in how the story is going to go, especially if they're going to have spin-offs like that It Happened on Hyde Street. And he also says in the story that we are going to meet the people who are on Hyde Street. So I'm going to assume he's talking about all the people that are actually on the scoreboard, because the Dr. Ego's name doesn't pop up on the scoreboard, but they have like Circus Freak, Gen Z, and several other people. Pranky is on there. So I really do kind of want to see how all of the others operate through here, and all of the other residents of Hyde Street. So I'm really excited for this story. This story looks fun. The artwork looks amazing. The death in the beginning, where I was like, we're already starting off really strong. Great. So I'm very interested in this story. I think this story is going to be really, really fun. So that is it for this episode of The Doctor's Office, and I will see you guys at your next checkup.